What you need to do immediately. It always begins the same way, with silence. 1 second the world hums with electricity, the buzz of the fridge, the whir of the fan, the glow of the TV. Then, in a heartbeat, it's gone. Silence swallows everything. Your home is pitch black, your phone shows no signal bars, and the air feels heavier, like the whole neighborhood is holding its breath. That's the moment when reality sets in. You're in a blackout, and nobody knows when the lights are coming back. I'll never forget standing at my kitchen window during the last outage. Across the street I saw my neighbor fumbling with a lighter, trying to get a candle lit while his kids cried in the dark. His car alarm kept chirping in the distance, triggered by the sudden surge, and when he opened his fridge, I could hear him swear loud enough for the whole block. Everything inside was already warming up. Within an hour the street was filled with shadows of people carrying flashlights, checking on each other. Some panicked, some pretending it was no big deal. But you could feel it. Behind every laugh was a current of fear. And here's the truth. Those first 24 hours decide everything. Do you stay in control, or do you watch your home descend into chaos? That's why in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to do the second the power dies before confusion turns into crisis. 12. Secure your medical and health needs immediately. If you or anyone in your household relies on medication, medical devices, or ongoing care, the first hours of a blackout are absolutely critical. This is not the time to hope things sort themselves out. Over 2.7 million Americans rely on electrically powered medical devices like oxygen concentrators, dialysis machines, or refrigerated insulin. Without power, those lifelines can fail fast. That's why the moment the lights cut, your top priority after basic safety is securing your health needs. Check every prescription that requires refrigeration. Most insulins, for example, can survive about 28 days at room temperature, but other medications spoil much quicker. Transfer sensitive meds into a cooler with ice packs or frozen bottles from the freezer. Next, think about backup power. Do you have a portable power bank capable of running a CPAP machine through the night? If not, you might need to relocate to a hospital or shelter that has generator backup. Don't wait until it's too late. Even if you're not dependent on devices, prepare for smaller but equally important health details. Do you have enough clean contact lenses or spare glasses? A first aid kit with antiseptics, bandages, and gloves? Minor injuries in a blackout can spiral if you don't treat them immediately because hospitals will likely be overloaded. Hydration is another overlooked part of health in blackouts, especially if water supplies are uncertain. Fill every clean bottle and container you have because dehydration makes every health problem worse. Bottom line, secure your medical and health baseline now, or you may not get another chance. Manage your waste and sanitation before it becomes a crisis. Nobody likes to talk about it, but waste management in a blackout can spiral into a public health nightmare in less than 24 hours. The second your water pressure drops or your toilets stop flushing, you're suddenly one step away from living in unsanitary conditions that breed bacteria, disease, and vermin. Studies from extended blackouts after major hurricanes show that improper sanitation is one of the fastest ways communities fall into chaos. E. coli outbreaks, skin infections, even cholera in the worst scenarios. Don't let that be you. Prepare early. If you've got water running, fill the back of the toilet tank for 1 or 2 flushes. But beyond that, line a heavy-duty trash bag in a bucket, sprinkle some cat litter, sawdust, or even baking soda in between uses, and seal it tight when done. That simple method can control odor and bacteria until services return. Designate a single bathroom space for waste, so the rest of the home stays hygienic. And remember, garbage collection may be delayed, so keep all trash sealed and away from the living area. Wash your hands obsessively, yes, obsessively. If you don't have running water, use hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, or even a diluted bleach solution. A small infection or stomach bug in normal times is annoying, but in blackout conditions it can knock you out of commission and endanger your whole family. Treat waste as a priority from the very first hours, not an afterthought, because once things pile up, it's too late. 10. Reinforce your home security before the sun goes down. When the grid goes dark, crime often ticks up. It's a documented phenomenon. A 2019 Department of Justice study noted looting and opportunistic break-ins increase within the first 24 hours of widespread outages. That's not paranoia, that's history repeating itself. From the 1977 New York blackout to Hurricane Katrina's aftermath, darkness gives cover to desperate or opportunistic people, and the last thing you want is to be unprepared. Start by locking every door and window, even the ones you never use. Add improvised reinforcements, wooden dowels and window tracks, a chair angled under a doorknob, or even duct tape over fragile glass panes to reduce shattering. If you have outdoor valuables like a generator, grill, or fuel cans, chain them up or bring them inside. Lighting also matters. Position solar garden lights by entrances or place a flashlight in a window to give the impression someone's awake and alert. Organize your household. Decide who keeps watch and who rests. Even if you're not expecting danger, a simple routine check every hour keeps you sharp. Communication with neighbors is also part of home security. Knock on doors, agree to keep an eye out for each other, and share numbers or radios. A block that looks coordinated is far less likely to be targeted than one that looks isolated and panicked. You don't need paranoia, you need preparation. Security is about creating a strong deterrent so problems pass you by while you focus on surviving the blackout itself. 9. Establish a household command center. When the lights cut and confusion spreads, what keeps households stable is a sense of order. Chaos is contagious, but so is calm leadership. That's why you need to set up a command center within the first few hours of a blackout. Pick one room, ideally one with minimal windows, good insulation, and enough space for everyone to gather. This becomes your hub. Gather flashlights, lanterns, radios, food, water, and first aid, all in this central location. Why? Because in the pitch dark, wandering around to look for scattered supplies is dangerous and wastes precious battery life. In a crisis, centralization equals efficiency. From this room, set your schedules, when you'll eat, when you'll rest, when you'll check on neighbors, or turn on the radio. Structure reduces stress, especially for children, who look for cues from adults. Make lists: what food gets eaten first, what water is rationed, who's in charge of which tasks. Even something as simple as posting the rules of the blackout on a notepad can give everyone clarity and reduce arguments, and morale skyrockets when people feel there's a plan. A command center is also your fallback if things escalate, whether it's sheltering from extreme weather or keeping warm in a concentrated space. Think of it as your temporary headquarters, your bunker inside your own home. A household without a clear hub risks scattering energy and losing track of supplies, but one with a defined center operates like a team, and teams survive far better than individuals. This one rule is non-negotiable. The first 24 hours of a blackout often see a spike in emergency room visits, and one of the leading culprits isn't fire or injury, it's carbon monoxide poisoning. You can't see it, you can't smell it, but it kills over 400 Americans every year and sickens tens of thousands more. Why? Because when the lights go out, people panic and start running generators, grills, or kerosene heaters indoors or too close to windows. Within minutes, that invisible gas builds up and turns your living space into a death trap. The tragedy is that it's entirely preventable. Rule number 1. Never ever run a generator indoors. Not in your garage, not even with the door cracked open. Place it at least 20 feet away from windows and vents. The same goes for charcoal grills, propane stoves, and gas heaters. If it burns fuel, it belongs outside or in a properly vented space. Rule number 2. Get a battery-operated carbon monoxide detector, ideally more than one. Put them in sleeping areas, because poisoning often strikes at night when people don't wake up. Rule number 3. Understand the symptoms: headache, dizziness, nausea, confusion. If multiple people in the home feel flu-like all at once, that's not the flu, it's carbon monoxide. Get out immediately, call emergency services, and ventilate. In a blackout, you might be fighting cold, hunger, or darkness, but carbon monoxide is the enemy that sneaks in quietly. Guard against it from the very start, and you'll protect your household from one of the deadliest risks of a prolonged outage. 7. Protect your food supply like it's gold. Let me be blunt. During a blackout, your fridge and freezer are ticking time bombs, and once that internal temperature rises above 40 F, your food isn't just spoiled, it's dangerous. According to the USDA, food left in the danger zone between 40 F and 140 F for more than 2 hours becomes a breeding ground for bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli. That means a simple blackout could literally turn last night's leftovers into a poison pill. So, what do? Treat every opening of the fridge like a national security decision. Write down what's inside before opening, or better yet, snap a quick picture with your phone before the battery dies. That way, you don't stand there with the door open while cold air escapes. Use frozen water bottles or ice packs to extend the life of perishables. If you don't have those, fill Ziploc bags with water and freeze them ahead of time. Once frozen, they'll keep your fridge and freezer colder longer. Eat perishables first: milk, meat, fish, then move on to canned goods and shelf-stable foods. And don't be afraid to cook aggressively early on. If you've got chicken thighs in the fridge, fire up that propane grill and make a feast. It's safer to eat it now than risk foodborne illness tomorrow. Remember, food is not just fuel, it's morale. A warm meal can calm nerves, boost spirits, and make the blackout feel manageable. Protect your food supply as if your health depends on it. Because in a blackout, it absolutely does. Here's the ugly truth. In the first 24 hours of a blackout, water can go from something you take for granted to something you'd trade a gold watch for. Municipal systems often rely on electric pumps, and private wells are dead in the water without power. FEMA recommends at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. But let's be real, if you're sweating in 90 F heat, cooking, cleaning, or trying to flush toilets, that number doubles fast. So here's what you do. As soon as the lights go out, run to your taps and start filling every container you own.
Pots, pitchers, empty soda bottles, even your bathtub if you've got a clean stopper. That bathtub alone can hold 30-50 gallons, enough to cook, clean, and flush for several days. If you suspect the blackout might last, purify whatever questionable water you can. Boiling is best, but if that's not possible, add 8 drops of unscented bleach per gallon. Stir and let sit for 30 minutes. Keep purification tablets on hand if you're serious about preparedness. Another overlooked hack: drain your hot water heater. A standard 40-gallon tank can provide an entire family's drinking water for days. But don't wait until you're desperate. Plan it out early. Dehydration sets in faster than hunger, and it wrecks your body. Headaches, dizziness, confusion, even kidney failure in extreme cases. Your first move in a blackout isn't Netflix downloads or candles. It's securing water like your life depends on it, because it does. 5. Keep heat or cold from breaking you. Temperature isn't just about comfort, it's survival. In the summer of 2003, a blackout hit the Northeast during a heat wave, and over 100 people died from heat-related illnesses. In winter blackouts, hypothermia can set in even indoors if temps fall below 50 FF, especially for kids and the elderly. So what's the plan? In the winter, layer up. Hats, socks, gloves, yes, even indoors. Gather everyone in one room, preferably with minimal windows, and insulate it. Hang blankets over doorways, stuff towels under doors, and use body heat as your best heating system. Even a single candle can raise the temperature in a small enclosed room by several degrees, but never leave it unattended. In summer, flip the strategy. Keep blinds and curtains shut during the day, then throw windows wide open at night to ventilate. Create cross breezes by opening windows on opposite sides of the house. Stay hydrated, avoid heavy meals, and use damp towels on your neck, wrists, and forehead to cool your core temperature. If you have a battery-powered fan, run it in short bursts. Here's the golden rule: never bring outdoor equipment inside. Generators, charcoal grills, propane heaters, they kill more people in blackouts than heat or cold ever will, thanks to carbon monoxide. Manage your environment with brains, not panic. Comfort can be improvised, but survival depends on keeping your body within safe temperature ranges. Blackouts test resilience, but with the right hacks, you can stay safe until the grid hums back to life. 4. Set communication lines before you're cut off. Let's face it, the moment the grid collapses, so does our digital lifeline. Cell towers get overloaded, Wi-Fi dies, and suddenly you're staring at a silent phone wondering if the world outside your block even still exists. Communication is survival. It tells you whether this is a neighborhood blip or a citywide disaster. So here's what you need to do. Put your phone in low power mode immediately. Close background apps and switch to texting instead of calling. Text require less bandwidth and often sneak through congested networks when calls don't. If you've got a car, you can charge your phone there, but don't drain your car battery idling for hours. Use it sparingly and always in a ventilated space. Better yet, have a backup. A crank radio, a CB radio, or a set of walkie-talkies can keep you connected when cell service fails. In fact, FEMA and the Red Cross still recommend radios as the #1 blackout communication tool, because local stations are often the only ones broadcasting during outages. And don't underestimate good old-fashioned human connection. Step outside, talk to your neighbors, share information, trade resources, and agree on signals like a flashlight in a window to indicate someone needs help. Communication isn't just about news, it's about community survival. A lone household stumbles, but a network thrives. So in those early hours, build your lifeline. Because the difference between being isolated and being connected could mean the difference between panic and preparedness. Darkness is more than inconvenient, it's dangerous. Once the sun sets, your home becomes a maze of trip hazards, sharp corners, and hidden risks. And according to the National Safety Council, falls are the third leading cause of unintentional injury-related deaths in the U.S. Now add total darkness, and those odds skyrocket. That's why light isn't a luxury in a blackout, it's a lifeline. The second power drops, collect every flashlight, lantern, and headlamp you own, and stage them centrally. Forget the myth that candles are good enough. Yes, they give light, but they're also the one cause of fire during blackouts. In 2003's massive Northeast outage, fire departments reported a surge in candle-related house fires because people underestimated how fast flames spread when attention slips. Instead, rely on battery-powered LEDs, crank lanterns, or solar garden lights you can bring inside at night. Headlamps are gold. They free your hands for cooking, repairs, or medical tasks. Rotate usage strategically. Keep one bright source in your command center, then rely on dimmer lights elsewhere to conserve batteries. If you're desperate, even a crayon will burn for 15 minutes like a candle, or a jar of cooking oil with a cotton wick can serve as an improvised lamp. But the goal is control, not improvisation. Light is safety, morale, and order. Without it, panic sets in fast. Protect your light sources like treasure, because in total blackout, being able to see is the thin line between calm survival and absolute chaos. 2. Inventory and ration immediately. Here's a cold truth. Most households have enough food to last 3 to 5 days if managed correctly, but panic and poor planning can burn through it in less than 24 hours. During Hurricane Sandy's blackout, reports showed people tearing through their snacks on day 1, leaving nothing for day 3. Don't make that mistake. From the very first hour, conduct an inventory. Write it down. How many gallons of water? How many cans? How many perishables? How much fuel? How many batteries? Once you know your supply, ration it. That means setting strict rules. Meals at designated times. No random snacking. Water measured by the cup, not as needed. It might feel harsh, but discipline now prevents desperation later. Start with perishables that won't last. Milk, eggs, meat. Then pivot to shelf-stable items like rice, beans, peanut butter, and canned vegetables. Same with batteries. Don't keep flashlights blazing all night. Designate lighting times, and keep others off. Even phone use should be rationed. Schedule check-in windows, rather than constant scrolling. Think of your home as a submarine. Everything is finite. Everything is tracked. And don't forget fuel. If you're running a generator, calculate its burn rate and set limits before you run out. The key here is control. A household with ration rules feels stable and secure, while one without them spirals into stress and fighting. Inventory and rationing might not sound glamorous, but it's the backbone of surviving a blackout with your sanity and resources intact. The outro: stay calm, stay sharp, stay human. When the world around you goes dark, panic is your greatest enemy. Studies in disaster psychology show that fear and impulsive decisions kill more people than the actual event itself. In blackouts, people crash cars at unlit intersections, set homes ablaze with careless candles, or collapse from exhaustion because they ignored simple hydration. None of that has to be you. The first 24 hours of a blackout are about mindset as much as logistics. Take a breath. Assess your situation with clear eyes. Remind yourself that most blackouts resolve within hours, not weeks. If it lasts longer, you already know the systems: water, food, light, heat, communication, security. You've prepared. You're capable. Keep your household calm, especially children or elderly relatives, because panic spreads faster than fire. Talk, laugh, even play games to lighten the mood. Community also matters. Check on your neighbors, offer help, accept help. Blackouts test our independence, but they also remind us of our interdependence. A neighborhood working together survives longer and suffers less. And most importantly, don't lose your humanity. In the dark, it's easy to slip into selfishness or fear. But the people who endure best are those who stay generous, clear-headed, and adaptable. Stay calm, stay sharp, stay human. That's the ultimate survival strategy in a blackout, and it's the one that will carry you not just through the first 24 hours, but through any crisis life throws your way.